Hello and welcome back. Evan Daly here. It's currently Christmas morning, 2016. Where we left off in my last video, I had created some basic terrain. I had dropped in some rocks, and we had a basic first-person character with kind of a crappy-looking gun prototype in their hand. I think in this video I'll touch up the map a little bit more. So first off, let's take one of these rock formations and drag it over. Just give the map a little bit more variation. And if you don't like the rocks I built, there's plenty of rock packages on the Unity Asset Store. I highly recommend checking out the Asset Store. It's really quite fantastic, actually. There's a lot of free stuff on there, and if you find rocks that you like, you can do the same thing I did, where I took the texture from the terrain and just drag it onto the object to change its color like that. And so you can get a little bit more variation just by putting different textures on the rocks that you download. So we're just trying to make this look a little bit more interesting to the eye. It's pretty straightforward. And I'm duplicating with Control D, and then moving them around with these tools in the scene view. If you're not able to select the objects, you're probably in your game view. So just make sure you're always in the scene view. And keep in mind that if you're in play mode, even if you jump back to the scene view, let's say I want to move this rock around, I'm going to put it just like floating up in the air, like that. Once I exit play mode, that's going to reset to its position. So play mode changes are only temporary. Make sure that you're not accidentally going into play mode and then changing a bunch of stuff and then losing it all, because that's very frustrating. Okay, so now we have a little bit more variation. Next, we're going to add grass to the map. So I'm going to click on my terrain, go into the terrain component right here, and we want to go into the Paint Details tab, Edit Details, Add Grass Texture, and then you can use either of these two billboard textures that come with the standard assets. So I think I like this one better. So just drag that onto the texture. If you want to, you can play with the width and height, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so I added this grass texture, and now you can see I'm just going to paint it onto the map. For some reason it didn't work. Oh, that's because my opacity is set to 0. Okay, so seems to be painting pretty aggressively. That's better. So just say it seems to change based on the frame rate your computer's running at. I have to run at a pretty low opacity and then just lightly tap the mouse button. Otherwise it spams the screen with grass. Jump back into play mode. That looks terrible. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that, go into Edit Details, Add Grass Texture, and let's try this other one. Add. And we're just going to paint that around the player. Just do it everywhere. That has kind of an interesting look to it. I still don't really like it. So just remove that to delete everything. I'm gonna add the same texture again, but give it a little bit more color variation. Let's make the dry color like the same as the rocks. Maybe a little bit more orange than that. Yeah. And let's make it a little bit shorter. So max height 1.5, min height 0.5, add. And then I'm just going to put it around the tree bases. Play. Still not happy with the way that looks. Edit, edit. It's a little bit more appealing to the eye now, just because it's an interesting color, but I still not happy at all with the way that looks. So I want to erase everything. So just delete that. Edit textures, add grass texture. This will be the last time. So let's just stick with the default values. And just paint with a different pattern, so there's a little bit more variation. And you can't see it when it's off in the distance because Unity is just trying to optimize the scene. So just paint like that. Let's jump back into play mode. I think this will look a lot better now. It's still not great, but I think I can live with that. I think I'm just going to make it significantly shorter and then add more. Edit details, edit, min height 0.3, max height 1, apply. Yeah, that looks okay. It adds a little bit of variation to the map. If we don't want it, you can see when I look straight forward, it looks kind of like weirdly thick in that direction. So you can go into your terrain settings and whatever you set the detail resolution to. No, that's not it. Detail distance. If you bring this down, it won't render grass more than 22 units away from the player. So you can see it disappearing as I went backward. You can tweak those settings to make the scene look better. A lot of this is just trial and error. Just try to have fun with it. It's a creative process. I think I'm going to cut this video off here. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.